Well, hello again, everybody. I'm Trucker Todd, and it's time for another live video. It's already turned into Technical Tuesday as I almost spilt an energy drink on my laptop trying to start this show. Anyway, glad you're here. We got a lot to talk about tonight, and I even need your opinion on a couple of things. So I hope you'll hang around, and we'll jump into it as quick as we can. Let me get the banner up. There we go. And we'll do our normal thing. Let's say hi to all the channel members. But first, we have got a super chat here. Also, I'm trying something different tonight. I'm going to be reading the comments off my tablet, which is also my ELD, instead of reading them off the laptop. Reason being, sometimes we get a comment that gets either retracted by the person that wrote it or a moderator will pull it. And when I look at it through StreamYard, it still uh, comes up on my StreamYard screen. So we're trying this. Hopefully it'll work, but I'm fixing to, this could be a train wreck. We'll see how it goes. Also, as you might be able to tell by the shirt, and I didn't have a Dallas Cowboys hat, but I picked the blue and gray hat that I did have. And by the background behind me, the Cowboys had a pretty good game on Sunday night, and I'm still kind of celebrating that. All right, let's jump in. Let's not waste any time. Let me find that super chat, and then we'll go to the members. ROB with the $100 channel super chat says, "Happy belated birthday, Trucker Todd." Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I wasn't around any friends or family. I ended up working Monday. I was out in Colorado. It was freaking cold. I can't wait to tell you about what happened. I believe it was Sunday night. No, it wasn't. Friday night. I think it was Friday night. Anyway, we'll talk about all that tonight. Y'all just remind me if I forget. But I appreciate that, ROB, and thank you very much. I typically hate being alone on my birthday or on holidays. This year, though, I had like 150 Facebook messages, probably over 50 phone calls, and tons of emails and text. And I appreciate everybody keeping me in their thoughts and prayers on my birthday. Let's see here. Now let's go to the channel members. Sorry, my brain is working overtime doing this tablet and laptop, everything all at once. As we get in the flow of the show, though, it will get better. All right, let's see here. It looks like we've still got the same 14 channel members. We've got Ramon, RGB, Robbie Ross. We're going to talk about Robbie Ross later tonight. He's had an interesting week. Corey Oatley, Skyhook Trucker, Midlife Trucker, Red Raider Reloading, Randy's Road Life, Christian Harlow, KC, a trucker named Tim, Smaller Hauler. See, I'm getting better at saying that. Oacer DM, and Roger Berry. All righty, let's go back. And let's see if I can do this now. First comment would be Jordan B saying he's the first one here. Gary Cook says he's the second one listening in Indianapolis, Indiana. His truck is in the shop for repairs. Oh, that stinks. What's wrong with it? Is it something quick, or are you going to be down for a while? And channel member Roger Berry says he's third in tonight from Knoxville. Ted Van Buskirk says, "Hello, sir. All is well." Yes, sir. All is well. For a mouse pad, I'm using my Rice Chex box, and so sometimes my mouse ain't working as good as I'd want it to. A trucker named Tim, channel member, is here. And Skyhook Trucker, channel member, says, "Hey, Todd and chat." Hello, sir. Ted says, "This new job is kicking my butt." Yeah, so Ted quit where he was working. I don't think he wants me to mention the company's name, and got him a more local job, and I guess it's a little more physically demanding. Hang in there, though. You'll build up your stamina and get where you can do it. And channel member Skyhook says he is coming to you from Paulsboro, New Jersey. Ooh, I don't go up there if I can avoid it. Although Colorado was adventure though. Uh, oh man. And let's see here. Who's next? Skyhook Trucker channel member again. You still haven't changed that horrible thumbnail, a trucker named Tim. LOL. Oh, that's funny. I still hadn't paid attention to it before you change it. Oh, there it is. Yeah. It I just hope Disney doesn't sue him for using Shrek in his profile picture. And ROB is in Plainfield, Indiana, reporting for duty. Well, thank you for being here, sir. A trucker named Tim, channel member, telling Skyhook, don't be jealous of my amazing looks, my friend. ROB, this week I learned that you can add a half a mile per gallon to a PACCAR by changing the fuel filter. Yes, sir, I would say that's true on a lot of engines. Air filter, too. The harder that engine has to work to get oil and fuel, the more it's going to affect your fuel economy, tire pressures. I know Barack Obama got made fun of for saying that, but there's actually some truth to it. You know, if you're running your tires low at 75 or 80, those tires, it takes more power to turn them than if they're up at, say, 110, 115. And that'll also affect fuel economy. I'll tell you another one. If your trailer is kind of doglegging behind your truck, that creates more resistance and that'll affect the fuel economy as well. That's why when I'm looking at, the safer scores and stuff of company, I always look at vehicle maintenance because the first thing people stop taking care of when they're having financial problems is maintenance. And it's because they get in the mentality that maintenance costs you money. And it really doesn't. Maintenance will save you money. If you catch something early, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be cheaper than if you catch it in the later stages. Because when something starts going out, it'll tear up something else, that'll tear up something else. It's kind of a domino effect. So you might think, oh, I hate to take care of that right now. I hate to buy shocks right now because that's a few $100s. But then you start having cupping in your tires and other issues. And then all of a sudden you need a set of drive tires. Or I hate to get that alignment. And then all of a sudden you need a couple of steers at $2,000 and alignment and all that. When if you just take care of it as soon as you start seeing some variations, get that alignment, get those shocks, it'll end up saving you money in the long run. All righty, let's see here. Channel member Red Raider Reloading on the road to Dumas, Texas. So this morning, I text Red Raider Reloading because he and I we didn't work for the same company, but we worked at the same place. And I kind of knew his route where he goes a lot. And I happened to be on his normal route. And so I texted him and said, hey, are you out here? And he said, no, I don't go in until this afternoon. But he ended up going to Dumas. So he wouldn't have been in my route anyway. But I thought, man, we might get to run together for a little bit or something. But it didn't work out this trip. But tomorrow morning I deliver in Louisiana, and then I got a load going to Lubbock. My tooth ain't hurting right now, but I still think it'd be a good idea to have a dentist look at it. And I'm still supposed to go to the doctor for my back. I haven't. I canceled that appointment. I need to reschedule that. But I don't want to stay in Lubbock too long because Christmas is coming up, and I'd like to do at least a couple more loads for Christmas. If the load board permits. If it don't, I'll try to do some short haul stuff between Lubbock and Dallas or just kind of around Texas to make sure I make it back for Christmas. And channel member Red Raider Reloading says, hope all is well with you, the birthday man, Trucker Todd. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, sir. But yeah, I haven't seen Red Raider Reloading since Red Raider, how long's it been? Probably 3 or 4 years since I worked for that company or longer. So it'd be good to run into him, be able to run with him for a couple hours if I could catch him on his way to a store or something. Skyhook channel member with the birthday cake. Mike Wittis, hello all from Kansas City. Hello, sir. Thank you for being here. And oops, I almost messed up. Hey, I'm doing better at this than I thought I would. So far, the biggest problem is my rice checks box. Retired super trucker says he is watching from the hospital tonight. Been in 6 days so far. Well, that's not good. Um, I won't ask your personal stuff on here, but I hope everything's okay. And I'm sure me and everybody else in here will say a prayer for you after the show tonight. And I hope you get to feeling better. If you need anything or you need to talk or anything, email me at todd@truckertodd.net. It's also down there in the clicker at the bottom of the screen, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. Channel member Midlife says, wow, I'm really late to the party tonight. Look at ROB tossing out the Benjamins. Yeah, he's the man. I appreciate that. Oh, wait a second. We got another super chat. Let's jump out down here and get it. Michael with the super sticker, $49.99. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. I really do. I sometimes I'm so blown away by this stuff that I don't have an articulate comment, but just know I appreciate it. Um, my birthday's a lot better today than it was on Monday, but I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all so much. All right, let me go back up here and see if I can figure out where I was. Channel member Roger Berry saying, happy birthday, Todd. Well, thank you, sir. I'm 51, which, man, I would have took better care of myself if I'd have known I was going to live this long. And channel member Red Raider Reloading, get well soon, retired super trucker. Yeah, that sucks, man. And especially this close to Christmas, hopefully you'll be out before that. That's no place to spend the holidays. Channel member Red Raider Reloading says it's my birthday too. Throw me 100. Man, if I had it, I'd send it to you. And my good friend Mark Ely says, what's up, everyone? Channel member Red Raider says, howdy, Mark. P.U. Patel says, hello and happy birthday, Trucker Todd. Well, thank you, sir. Channel member Midlife says, I'm chiming in tonight from Sunnydale, Georgia, smallest incorporated city in Georgia. Wow. I'm on my way to, oh crap, what's the name of that city? Anyway, I'm basically going to a little suburb of Baton Rouge. Then I'm going over, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And then I'm dead heading over to New Orleans, 83 miles away, and picking up a load going back to Lubbock for Friday. If I'd have known where it was going before I booked it with the broker, I probably wouldn't have took it. The warehouse it's going to in Lubbock is not my favorite place to go. So y'all pray for me when I go there. It's gonna test every last nerve I got. And the very first channel member, Ramon, is here. Thank you for being here, sir. And Michael, who just did the $49.99 super chat, says, good evening. Good evening, sir. Thank you for being here. Brian Walton, what's up, bud? Not much, sir. Just hanging out. Channel member Midlife, Trucker Todd taking over an arena. Well, what happened, that beautiful piano that's normally behind me, I traded it for AT&T Stadium. So this hadn't made newspapers yet, but now Jerry Jones has given me AT&T Stadium in exchange for that piano. So I feel really fortunate. I'll now have stadium box seats for all the games, and who knows, I may give channel members discounts on tickets and things like that. But yeah, my good fortune just continues for sure. Brian Walton, I don't think the Cowboys really have a game to worry about till they play the 49ers in the playoffs. We'll see. That's the even the commenters or commentators did a good job of talking about. There was one team last year that three of their offensive linemen got hurt, and they ended up losing their playoff game. And he made the statement. People will ask him who's going to win the Super Bowl, and he says, "Tell me who's going to be playing." And he didn't mean team wise; he meant player wise. If one of the if C.D. Lamb or Dak Prescott got hurt, or even their kicker's freaking amazing. It could change the landscape. Same thing with San Francisco. All these teams, it's all about injuries and the health of the team and things like that. So we'll see. But I'm pretty excited. They're playing. You know, Dak's been in the NFL for 8 years, and he's not playing perfect, but this is by far his best season. How is stuff still getting through? I've got the ringer off. Anyway, that shouldn't have happened. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. And Ted, happy late birthday. Sorry, sir. That's all right. I appreciate you being here. And it stinks being 51, though. It really does. Oh, I want to tell y'all about, before we go too much further, I want to tell y'all about what happened. I think it was Friday night. So I picked up my load in Denver area, and I had to go down 285 going to Aztec, New Mexico. And it started snowing like a mother. And they didn't put the chain law in, but they did after I got on it. But after that, you were past all the chain places. But anyway, we're cruising along, and I've got a heavy load, like 45,000 pounds of soft drinks. And the secret to driving on ice, and I was telling a few guys this week, is momentum. You've got to have enough momentum to get over the hills, but not so much momentum that you can't slow yourself down going down a hill or around a curve or something like that. Well, we're putting along, and this guy spins out his truck in front of me in the hammer lane, and his tractor's in the ditch, and his truck's blocking the passing lane. Well, there's a lot of cars out there. They panic. They start slamming on their brakes. A hot shot rig is over on the shoulder. He's spun out, and I start slowing down, but I'm trying to keep some momentum so I can get over that hill. Well, it didn't work. We ended up stopping for probably 5 or 10 minutes. And because of that, I can't get going again. So I'm stuck on this like 7% grade, and I can't go. And sitting there, I got out. I put on my high visibility coat, went over to the guy. He doesn't speak any English. He's a foreigner. So I walked back to my truck, and I called Scott. I said, "Hey, I'm probably gonna have to get a tow truck out here. I'm stuck." And I said, "I didn't hit nothing. I'm not in the ditch. I'm in the slow lane, and I can't get going." And I explained to him that, and he knew this, but I explained to him that when you're on an incline like that, even if it's dry, it would take me a while to get up momentum and go, because I got all that liquid in the trailer working against me. But with any kind of moisture or snow, I'm just spinning down. Well, I tried a couple times, couldn't get going. About that time, a snowplow comes through. Now, keep in mind, the truck's blocking the left lane and off in the ditch. I'm on the right lane, probably 200 or 300 feet back. And then probably 400 or 500 feet in front of me is that hot shot rig on the right hand side. So the snowplow goes to the right of me on the shoulder, and he gets, I mean, close. And I'm glad he did. He got within probably 4 or 5 inches of my tractor. And so after he went by, I've suddenly got a dry strip on the shoulder. And so I kind of Ouija wajied myself over uh, onto that shoulder just enough with my right tires. I could get going and I got out of it. But it was a pretty hairy situation for a few miles there, probably about another 7 or 8 miles. And then I was on dry land and I was about 80 miles from the nearest truck stop. And when I got there, I just called it a night and went to bed. Got up in the morning and it was in Buena Vista, Colorado. And quite honestly, it was the best Domino's pizza I've ever ate at. Friendly people, food was good, and it was freaking cold there. But anyway, made my delivery Monday morning, and then proceeded with this other load that I'm on right now. So, but yeah, that's how my weekend went. Monday, I drove my life away instead of being parked somewhere and celebrating my birthday. But I do appreciate all of y'all keeping me in your thoughts and prayers and all the calls and texts and emails and everything else. I do appreciate it. Russell Freight Services says, happy birthday. Or he says, see what I mean? I'm already getting behind here. See if I can figure out where I'm at. Hey, Todd. Hey, Russell. Thank you for being here. Michael, happy late birthday. Thank you, sir. I'll figure out where I'm at here in just a second. Steve Lyle Logistics, happy birthday, Todd. Thank you, sir. Okay, I think I found me. SRJ says 346 fuel in Missouri yesterday. Yeah, I just filled up right here at the truck stop I'm at in Terrell, Texas. And the NASTIC card that the company uses, I got fuel for, I believe it was $2.97 a gallon. I may have been able to beat it a little bit, but I didn't have my ES Advantage card loaded. Reason being, they are switching cards on us, and so we're going through that transition now. As a matter of fact, they're supposed to call me tomorrow, and we're supposed to complete that transaction. And I've got a new fuel card at the house from them, and it looks just like the one that's in my wallet, but they want me to swap fuel cards, and we got to transfer balances and all of that. So we're going to tackle that monster tomorrow as well. All right, Travis Jones. Hey, Todd, Travis here, checking in from Macon, Missouri. Well, I'm glad you're here, sir. Thank you for being here. And we're going to have to read this one in parts. Russell Freight Services on my way to Kansas City. Or wait, nope. On my way to North Dakota and back to OC. He meant KC. Good deal, man. Sounds like you got your next few days planned out. Right Way to Truck says, hey, Todd. Hey, Right Way to Truck. Thank you for being here. Man, no matter what I do, it gets warm in here. See if we can cool it off a little. Josh McLean says, here from my house, truck is in the or here at his house, truck's in the shop. Man, there's been a lot of y'all in the shop this week. What's going on with your truck, Josh? We're going to talk about. I'm trying to wait for him to get here, but if he doesn't get here, we'll talk about him in a minute. Rob Rossi, his truck has been in the shop this week, and he had a pretty bad experience and wanted me to talk about it and sent me some pictures. And so we're going to talk about that here in a little bit too. Ted says, hauling coal, and you can say the name of the company I quit. So he was working for Silver Trucking, and I think he liked it there, but he just kind of got burnt out and wanted to be home a little more. I think would probably be the best way to describe it. And channel member KC, Good evening, Gorilla Gang. Happy birthday, Todd. I hope all is well with everyone. I will see you guys in the replay. Yes, sir. Thank you for popping in. SRJ, too bad Christian went postal. Hopefully we don't spend hours on him. Yeah, I think we've covered that subject sufficiently. So we're just gonna move on. Gary Cook, I'm at a mom and pop shop in Indianapolis. They are great at repairing trucks. SK Truck and Trailer Repair. I'm using coolant, I'm using coolant, but nothing on the ground. Oh man, hopefully it's not a head gasket or something like that. But good that you're at a good shop, and hopefully you'll be out quickly. And maybe since it's a mom and pop, you won't have to wait too long. All righty. P Jug Patrol, good evening, sir. Thank you for being here. Michael says that's why I'll be doing servicing my truck tomorrow. Yeah, that's you know, I and right now it's worse than ever because everybody is, pinching pennies and trying to make it through these challenging times. But that's the one place you can't skimp is on maintenance. You got to take care of the truck before you can take care of anything else. And my wife is great about understanding. We put when we were down for that 8 weeks, we put everything on hold, and she would tell people, they'd say, "Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that?" And she's like, "We're not doing nothing till we get the truck situation figured out." And hopefully you're with somebody like that too, that they understand the importance of taking care of the truck, because you can't pay for the house or the cars or anything else in your life if you don't have the money maker, which in most of our cases is the truck. All righty, let's see. Channel member Red Raider Reloading says 3 years. For those that are just joining us, I'd asked Red Raider how long it had been since we had worked at the same outfit, different companies, but at the same outfit, and he said it'd been about 3 years. I was thinking it'd be longer than that, but anyway, good to see him again, and I'm glad he comes in here like he does. He's a wealth of knowledge. If you look at his profile picture, I don't want to say the word in here, but on that topic right there, he's a wealth of knowledge, and I find myself asking him questions on that subject from time to time. And here, pretty quick, I'm going to be talking to him some more. I'm going to be shooting him a text, asking him more questions, especially if he. Well, I better not say too much in here. I get myself in trouble. But yeah, he's a wealth of knowledge on that subject. And I'm trying to catch up on the comments. May take me a minute. A trucker named Tim, channel member, says maintenance at a shop or doing it yourself is a lot cheaper than maintenance on the side of the road. Public service announcement. Yeah, that's true. And, they never break down when you're right in front of a shop. They always break down when you're 300 miles from the nearest shop. I remember I had a sensor on my Dart Peterbilt go out in like the middle of North Dakota, and it was like 300 miles to the nearest dealer that had that sensor. Once again, pack car, but well, it had a Cummins engine, but uh, you know what I mean. Anyway, so yeah, they never break down at a convenient time. They break down when you're on that hot load that's got to be there, or when you're trying to get home for a family event or something like that. But as you drive your truck over time, you should start knowing how it should feel and how it should act. And the second that you feel it acting different, or it sounds different, get out and start looking around, see if you can figure out what's different. And it may save you some money. It'll definitely save you some time on the side of the road. That's another thing I probably ought to mention. You guys, get you a case of water and stick it under your bed or somewhere in your truck, so that if you are on the side of the road, you've got water. Get you some canned food, stick it in your truck, So, like when I broke or not broke down, when I got stuck on the road Friday night, um, I had food in the truck. I'd have been fine if I had to sit there till the next morning. I had water, things like that. Get you some emergency supplies. Have you some extra blankets in case your truck won't start and it's really cold outside. Those things might save your life, especially the blankets and things like that. And so just, sometimes we get in such a hurry or we're so stressed about this and that we forget the little things that make a big difference. Yes, sir. Touche, sir. Uh, Martin Maxwell says that tooth maintenance is just as important as the truck maintenance. Uh, just as important to get that stuff done early. Yeah, this one just started hurting out of the blue. I'm 51 years old now. I've never had a cavity or any kind of dental problems. Now, granted, it's been 2 or 3 years since I've been to the dentist, but it just started hurting recently, and it come at a terrible time after I'd already been off 8 weeks. Right now, it's not hurting at all. What I did last night is I went and bought some aspirin and I dissolved an aspirin tablet over that tooth, and it hadn't hurt since then. But I still want to get it looked at. It feels like something's growing under it, like a bone or a part of a tooth. Maybe they missed when they pulled my wisdom teeth or something like that. So I just want to get it looked at. And it could just be a good old fashioned toothache that's finally clearing up and going away. It could have been a particle of food that got stuck in there and it's now worked its way out or something. But I've been flossing every day, everything trying to take care of it. And I do intend to get it looked at. And like I say, I'll be there probably Friday afternoon by the time I get empty and everything. So it's probably going to be Monday before I can see the dentist. But I do intend to get it looked at. But yes, that's a great point about taking care of yourself as well. And the older you get, the more important it is. You think, oh, it's just a regular ache. And then all of a sudden you're having a heart attack or something. So the older you get, the more you need to look at those little aches and pains for sure. That's a great point, Martin. All right, let's see who's next. Biden wears diapers. Greeting from Chicago. Hello, sir. Thank you for being here. I love that profile picture too. That's friggin' hilarious. Gary Cook with an undeniable comment. Uh, he says, "You're 1 year younger than me, but I'm better looking." No doubt about that, sir. No doubt about that. I've got a face only a mother could love, a face built for radio, all that stuff. I get it. Russell says, "Happy birthday." Thank you, sir. All right, that's cool. So, retired trucker Mark Ely, who's a great guy, says if you need a visitor at the hospital, let him know he's not busy. He'd be a great guy to come by and visit you. Logic Neo is new here. You've been in here before, Logic Neo. It's been a few weeks, but you used to come in here a lot. Glad to have you either way, sir. No, it's actually not. So, channel member Red Raider Reloading said warehouse must be Yano Logistics. No, but it's there's two other ones in town. One of them's on the East Loop, and it's not that one. And another one's right off 4th Street. It's that one. So, without saying who it is on here, I think you know now. And Gary Cook says the Chicago Bears played an outstanding game on Sunday. They beat the Detroit Lions. Oh yeah, did anybody see the Patrick Mahomes meltdown? And you guys know I'm a big Patrick Mahomes fan, but I feel like he was wrong in this instance. So basically, his argument was that the ref should have told the wide receiver that he was lined up off sides. And, I'm a personal responsibility kind of guy. It was obvious the player was offsides. The player should have known he was offsides. It wasn't even close. So in that instance, I think he should have been mad at the receiver and not the referee. But anyway, he blew up on the sidelines, which is real uncharacteristic for him. And I haven't seen the final results yet, but it looks like he could face some fines from the NFL over that. It's a real shame. Sometimes our temper gets the best of us. Yes, sir, Travis Jones, the stadium in exchange for the piano. Not only the piano, Jerry Jones is also writing me a check as well because I autographed that piano for him. He's a big fan of the Trucker Todd show, and he wanted that autographed piano. And fortunately, after some really strong negotiating, we were able to put a deal together. Mark Ely, listening and driving. Be safe. Happy birthday, brother. You look good. No stress. I like this look. Yes, sir. I'm back in. It's like I don't know if you guys used to watch the show Blacklist, but it's really true on any TV show. The season ending show, you always, by the way, that show, the series ending one sucked. But you there would be this impossible situation and you would think, oh man, next season, I don't know how they're going to get through this or work around that. And then within one or two episodes, everything's fixed and they're working on the next issue. And it's kind of that way here. I'm sitting at home for 8 weeks and I'm thinking, oh crap, how am I going to get through this situation? And now it's like I'm back in the groove doing what I do. The loads are coming. They're not $3 a mile, but they're 2 to 3. They're like 2 to 280 is what most of them's been. I think I've had one that was lower paying, and truck's running great. Things are going good, and so the stress is going away, and I'm really fortunate and happy to be back out here. And let's see who we got here. Channel member Ramon, happy late birthday, Godfather Todd. Well, thank you, sir. Channel member Midlife, remember when you light the candles on the cake, you have your fire extinguisher ready. Yeah, I actually had to get a permit from the city last year when I did a birthday cake. I didn't get to do one this year, as it was a fire hazard. They still had problems with planes trying to land out in front of my house from the bright lights from the sky of the candles. So yeah, it is a little bit of a fire hazard. I think they've alerted air traffic control that on December 11th that the amount of candles could be distracting to planes. T. Stifler says, howdy, howdy, sir. Thank you for being here. And sadly, channel member Roger Berry is having to tap out. Got to get up at 2 and head to Louisville. All right, man. Have a good night. Try to catch the replay if you can. Alaska Hall says, hello, Todd. And Alaska Hall telling Gary it could be his EGR cooler. Yeah, if he's losing coolant, there's several things it could be, and most of them aren't good. But we'll keep our fingers crossed. Maybe there's just a slow leak at a hose clamp or something somewhere. But the thing is, he's not seeing pedals under his truck, so we'll see. I'm sure he'll update us on Thursday. And channel member Ramon, Gary Cook, if wasting cooler could be the EGR happens to my truck. Yeah, several people are saying that it could be the EGR. Let's hope it's not. Sharky Edwards with the flames. Yes, sir. Thank you. Gary Cook says, I have a funny feeling that the EGR cooler is going out. My truck is a 18 Freightliner Cascade with 592,789 miles. Hey, I want to show y'all something. I brought it tonight. This right here is what made my truck such an attractive vehicle. and I hope it'll show. Well, there it is. This is the maintenance records for this truck since 2019, and it's about halfway full. The guy that had it before me was meticulous about taking care of the truck, and so a lot of things like the def pump and all that's been changed out. And this truck really does run like a truck with half the miles on it. I fueled a minute ago, so I know it's got 757,000 miles on it right now, but it runs like it's got 200,000 or 300,000 on it. I I told Scott the other day. He asked me how it was running, and I was telling him. I said, "Man, I like it more every day I drive it," and I think he's relieved I'm back at work too. Channel member Red Raider says back in a bit. Unload time. All right, man. Be careful. Let's see. Joe Banana is saying hi to everybody. Thank you for being here, sir. Gary Cook, the Giants beat Green Bay. That was a good game. Yes, sir. Channel member Midlife, the Bears. There you go. Gary Cook says, Todd, go out and kick a field goal. Well, we may do that later in the show. I may walk down on the field. Now that I own the facility, security don't mess with me. I've got free reign. Maybe we'll make a video and I'll tour the stadium for you guys. Right now, I think it'd be really cool to open the roof, though. T. Stifler says, Happy birthday, Todd. Thank you, sir. Oh, I couldn't agree more. Stephen Lyle Logistics, they absolutely ruined the last season of Blacklist. Yeah, I was ticked at the end of the season 10, the final finale for the show. We'd basically waited 10 years to find out who he was, and they never told us. They kind of hinted when he was talking to the granddaughter, but I mean, it was one of those deals you could draw your own conclusion. And I thought we were going to be screwed when Liz died, and it turns out we were right. It makes no sense. He gave her that, or was going to give her that box. Dembe had to know who she or who he was, and Dembe never said. Red never said. It just they strung us along, and I couldn't have been more upset at how it ended. What a waste of 10 years. I can't even watch the reruns now because it just upsets me so bad. And Scorpion Trucker says, Hey, Trucker Todd, and everyone here. So happy you're running again. I'm getting a load now from Neosho, Missouri, heading back home to Arizona. I've got 4 hours left in the clock. I'll be listening. Good deal. I'm glad you're here, sir. Yes, sir. 1972. For those that didn't see it, those that are driving, T. Stifler said, So you were born in the 1900s? Yes, sir. 1972. Oh, no, I'm almost caught up. Can you believe it? Channel member Midlife, somehow I managed to avoid bad weather when I leave the homestead. After my deliveries in Duluth and Norcross, I'm headed to Pompano Beach, Florida. Well, I normally do. I like going to Colorado. I was good all the way up, but when I got up there, my broker that normally gets me out of there didn't have anything this time, so I had to kind of call an audible and find something else. And it just turned out. I mean, the storm kind of snuck up on me, to be honest. I wasn't expecting it to. I wasn't expecting it to get so bad so quick, but I made it through. And like I've said, my time at Dart really, really made me good at driving on snow and ice. I never worry about can I do it. I worry about if somebody's going to slide into me. And it was some 2-lane roads, and that's what I worry about is somebody losing control and hitting me head on and forcing me off the side of the mountain or something like that. But if I'm the only one out there, I'm fine. I can drive through just about anything, especially in this truck. It's got almost new tires on it, and things like that. So it drives it drives great. It was doing super, and it worked out good. If I would have been loaded any lighter than what I was, it would have probably been harder to drive on that stuff. And if I'd have been any heavier than I was, I probably wouldn't have been able to get going again. So um, I was just glad that I didn't damage the truck. I didn't have to call a tow truck, but I was there a good 45 minutes or an hour. It took me a while to get going again, and I'm not going to say I wasn't scared or a little bit nervous, because I definitely was. All right, let's go back to the comments here. Stephen Lyle Logistics. We're talking about Blacklist again. If you hadn't seen it, don't waste your time. For 9 seasons, it makes you think it's a great show, and then they burn you the last season. He says, I can't watch the reruns as well. When they killed Elizabeth, it all went to heck. Yeah, yep. And they knew they were only going to do one more season and stop. I wish they would have wrote it to where we found out what we all wanted to know the whole show. They could have told us and still made it a good final season, but it's like the guy that the head writer, I can't even think of his name now. He quit the show in like season 8 or 9, and I knew it was a good possibility it was going to go downhill from there. If the creator of the show don't stick around, good things aren't going to happen. Pu Patel has a question for Midlife. Is Joplin, Missouri a good hiring area for cheesemen? So Midlife, if you could holler back and let us know, is Joplin a good area for cheesemen? And let's see here. What did I do? Marcus Smiley. Had my company install a camera, driver and road, because of hard brake caused by the collision mitigation. Shaking my head. With this camera in here, they are probably listening to the show as well. Um, if I knew what company it was, I'd give them a shout out. But to Marcus's company, if you are listening, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's Trucker Todd, LLC. Give me a thumbs up and share my video to the other departments at your company. Also, feel free to listen to me on the replay while you're in the office and should be working. I appreciate you being here either way. Gary Cook, Clarksville, Tennessee, got hit pretty hard from a big tornado that went through on Saturday. I was stuck in Louisville, Kentucky, and it rained pretty good. Yeah, I heard about that. And there's a winter storm supposed to be coming through East Texas and Louisiana starting Wednesday and going through Friday. So that's when I'm supposed to go back through there to Lubbock. So we'll see how that goes as well. The South is tougher for bad weather because they don't have all the road equipment that they do in the heavily snowed areas. So it takes them a little longer to get the roads under control. Like up around Lubbock, about all they've got is like gravel and sand. And now they're finally starting to get some brine and stuff like that. But it's still, they can't compete with the Wisconsins and Minnesotas of the world and the Washingtons and Oregons of the world. They're just never going to get there. Gary Cook says, how many times have you chained up? In my lifetime, I could count on one hand. I've chained up twice since I got the tire socks, but to to be honest, I did that more for videos than I did uh, for uh, for driving in snow. Normally, I park if it's bad enough for the chain law, it's bad enough that I don't need to be out there. And if they would have enacted the chain law before I got there, I would have parked. I'd have found a place to park. Um, Same thing. If it's too slick to walk on, it's too slick to drive on. And it's not that I can't do it, it's that I worry about other people sliding into me. Channel member Midlife says, Missouri is not a good area for cheesemen. Sorry. Uh, Channel member Midlife says there is another major company located near Joplin, Springfield. I don't know if Midlife wants to say who that is on here or not, but if he does, he can put it in the comments and I'll post it up. And channel member Ramon, who's recovering at home, says you have a good night here in home care trying to get better. All right, man. I hope you have a great night. Hope you get to feeling better. He's going through some stuff right now. Y'all say a prayer for him as well. That's right. Biden wears diapers, says they're predicting a nasty winter. I hope not, but it sounds like it. P.U. Patel says, thanks, midlife, but I'll pass on Christians and transportation, LOL. Yeah. Like I said, I've got some people I know over there. They're good people, but they've got some policies that I just can't get behind and get excited about. Oh boy, Albert Nava is having a crazy night. Good evening from South Georgia. Being stuck at the shipper, Rich Sea Pack, for 6 hours. Luckily, my company pays attention since I arrived to the shipper. Yeah, at least you're getting something. Gary Cook with the trivia question for you guys. What year was it when Shreveport, Louisiana got hit with that ice storm? Does anybody remember? Channel member Midlife, let's just say it's a major company, one of the largest. They have lots of different color trucks. I'm sure they issue their drivers a YouTube channel when they get there. Yeah, I think they also have a school at that company there. Um, I think a couple of their YouTubers come in here and watch my videos and promote themselves from time to time. But yeah, I worked for them back in the early 2000s. They're also known for super slow trucks. I guessed it right. That's funny. Hang on, my mouse ain't cooperating. Channel member Midlife says, no, I wasn't thinking Christensen. 5 letters rhymes with chime. Yes, it does. I had it guessed right. Stephen Lyle just says, this is an El Nino year, so you folks down south will get a worse winter, they say. Yeah, I hope not, but it may be. Like I said, I really don't mind driving in it as long as the people that aren't comfortable driving in it are smart enough to park. All right, well, we're caught up on the comments. I'm going to take a drink of Coke, give you guys a chance to type. We've been going for almost an hour now, so we're doing pretty good. I guess now, um, since I've already talked about thumbs upping and subscribing and telling your friends and all that good stuff, I want to show you guys some stuff and we'll talk about it. A friend of mine is making, hang on a second, I had to scratch my head now that my hair is short again. All right, a friend of mine is making these, and we're talking about selling them as part of the merchandise, the Trucker Todd merchandise. And want to know what you think before I put any money in it. Let me get over here to it. So, those of you that have had Kenworths and Peterbilts, you know the little leather thing that you tug to do your air horn. This guy has made some. Here's the first one I want you to look at. Oh, that ain't what I wanted to show you. Right there. And we'll go back to that other picture in a minute. He's made some. They say Trucker Todd on them. He has the ability to customize them and make them say, your company name or your first name on them. And you can use them to tug your air horn. You could use them on a purse or things like that as a keychain. And this one's about a foot long. He's talking about shortening them for the general public just so they're more manageable. Here's some of the different colored ones he's made. He's actually mailing these to me. And I may do a giveaway and give some of them away. He and I are talking about that. We may put them up for sale. But what would you guys think if they were in the say $10 to $20 range. Is this something you guys would be interested in? Let me know in the comments or shoot me an email at todd@truckertodd.net. He's mentioned that he could make them, your favorite sports teams or your favorite high school football team colors, things like that. And like I say, he could incorporate your company name in there or your first name or whatever you wanted. Here's another one or a couple that he made. I like that one on the right, the blue and black. I think that looks neat. The one on the left is the colors of my high school football team. So some of these I may keep for myself. Me and him are going to have a discussion before I start giving them away and say, hey, can I keep a couple of these? There's a close up of that one on the left that's high school football colors. And then he made one like this, which I thought was really cool as well. So y'all let me know in the comments if y'all would be interested in something like this. And probably what I'd do is set it up where you could buy it through my website or something like that. So now that we got that out of the way, something for y'all to chew on, let me show you what this first picture was. If I don't, the trolls will say this is my truck and that something happened. You guys have all seen my truck, so you know it's not this color. This is Rob Rossi's truck. And he went to a dealer in Arizona, and he's going to come in a little bit, I think, and he'll tell us where it was. I don't remember the dealer. They called him and said, your truck's ready. He showed up and he found the headlight missing. It was laying in his front passenger seat. And he blew up, of course. And they said, all right, we'll put it in for you. They put it in and it was still sticking out. And now they've got his truck back together, but his right turn signal is not working. And they're telling him that he's going to have to buy and replace that whole headlight assembly, which on newer Freightliners like that is, I believe that, no, that may be a Kenworth. Anyway, newer trucks like that, whatever kind of truck that is, it's like $1,100. So he is not a happy camper. I believe that is a KW, if I'm not mistaken, not a Freightliner. Man, I should have been better prepared. Anyway, now that we got those two subjects out there, you guys feel free to give me your thoughts and comments on those things as well. All right, let me get back to your comments. Oh, let's see here. We got a bunch of them. Skyline says, hello, Todd. I'm here, but I'm late. That's all right, sir. Thank you for being here. Gary Cook says, how's the newer trailer doing? It's been great. It really has. It pulls good. It drives straight. It has that little weigh thing back there so I can tell how much weight's on my tandems. And so, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Thanks. And Michael I never can say your last name. Michael says, thinking about lease purchase. Well, right now, I would just think about it, unless it's a company. Like, there's an exception to every rule. Y'all got to remember when I talk about this stuff, I'm speaking in general terms. Right now, I would not do a lease purchase with a company that has a $1,300 or $1,500 a week payment. I wouldn't do $6,000 a month for a truck right now. Probably wouldn't do it ever. If you get a good deal with a company you're familiar with, like Skyline, he's not doing a lease purchase, but he's going to do an actual purchase after the first of the year. But it's a company he's worked for 5 years. So he's pretty safe in doing that. I believe as truck prices fall, that lease purchase deals will get better than what they are right now. And I'm just an optimist. I think freight rates are going to start to come up a little bit. But I'd be real careful doing a lease purchase right now, unless you've got a lot of money saved up. And I realize the irony in that is I'm doing a lease purchase right now. But it was with a company that I'm leasing on to Scott with SRO Logistics. I've been here about 6 or 7 months now, and well, maybe not that long. Uh, I think I started here in May. Anyway, I've been here a while. But would I do one with a brand new company that I'm not familiar with? I don't know. I'd be reluctant. Right now, I'd be pocketing money every chance you can get as a company driver, so that when you do it, you got some cushion. But either way, I'm rooting for you, and if you decide to do it, I'll still try to help you any way I can. And I'm definitely not trying to discourage you, just asking you to be careful. Skyline says, "Hey Todd, do you know if speed warning affects my record?" If you're talking about the one from your ELD, it doesn't affect your driving record. If you get a warning from a DOT officer and they put it on your inspection report, then you do get PSP points for even a warning. So it just depends what kind of speed warning you're talking about. ROB says, "I'm noticing that a lot of oil field trucking jobs are popping up in the back in shale up north." Hmm. I don't know much about the oil field, and it's all around me in West Texas. I've just always tried to avoid it. Everybody I know in the oil field has either lost fingers, arms, or legs, or they know somebody that has, or they die. And I'm not eager to lose any appendages or die, but I guess if I got desperate enough, I would. You may be right, Skyline. I think you're right. I think it is a Freightliner. I'm not real sure because that front bumper looks like the company that he works for's front bumper on their Peterbilts, but the headlight looks like a Freightliner. So I'd believe either one right now. Gary Cook said, "Did that dealer break that headlight?" That's the $1 million question that I don't know the answer to. He feels like they did. It was working when he went in, and now it's not. My theory on it is that's why they didn't reinstall it. They knew there was a problem and they were trying to figure out what it was. And maybe when they couldn't figure it out, didn't forget to cover their tracks and put it back together. But when I harken back to the problems I had with the dealer I was at, and then I fast forward to the problems he's having and the problems some of you other guys are telling me about, it just seems like the quality of mechanic or technician, whatever they want to be called these days, is going down. And trucks are getting more and more complicated to where, I mean, a lot of this stuff, even if you can change it yourself, a lot of these things, and I'm not saying specifically about this headlight, but a lot of these components have to be programmed when you put them in. And like PACCAR products, only PACCAR can do it. So then you got to go to a dealer and they tell you, oh, it's a week before we can do it. And it just seems like the fix is in. And so hopefully this is not a part that has to be programmed. He can buy the headlight off the internet and put it in himself or something like that. Skyline says, and yeah, the headlight is $1,500 from the 18 new design to 2024. That seems insane for a headlight. He said 11, but he may have an inside track on one. He works for I'd call it a medium sized company of around 1,000 or 1,100 trucks. So they may be getting him a price break on it or something. He's here. He's here. We'll get to his comments here in a second. Stephen Lyle says, my truck was in the shop at Great Lakes Peterbilt in Northwest Indiana for a turn signal problem this week. They did an awesome job. Well, there you go, guys, with PACCAR products. If you need a good shop, Great Lakes Peterbilt in Northwest Indiana uh, is a great place to go. Um, that's good information. If I still had one, I'd be taking notes right now, because the one I went to in Lubbock has fallen from glory. They used to be great, and they absolutely suck this time. Channel member Robbie Ross says, "Hey Todd, hello from the house in Phoenix." Um, yeah, I just told him about your headlights, so that's what we were discussing right now. Channel member Robbie Ross, thanks for posting up my Cowboys pick. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Um, so I got to be honest with you guys. I did not win AT&T Stadium by trading my piano. Um, this picture was actually taken by channel member Robbie Ross, and he suggested that I use it as a background tonight. And I thought it was a great idea. So I've still got the piano. Don't fret. I can still sing you Billy Joel songs at the end of every video. But so the piano's still here. But yeah, this picture was taken by Robbie Ross. I had teased everybody that I traded the piano for AT&T Stadium, and that Jerry Jones insisted that I sign the piano. P.U. Patel says, give us a tour of your truck, Todd. It's coming. It's coming. So this weekend, I did get everything unpacked. I've got a lot of stuff I need to throw away, and I need to clean the floors and wash it. Hopefully, I can do that this weekend when I get back in Lubbock and get you a video out. Right now, it's everywhere I've been, it's been too cold to be out shooting a video, but it's coming. It's coming. I'll show the truck and trailer all at once, inside and out, the engine. I want to have it clean and presentable. And I'll show you the things I like about it and the things I don't like about it, and tell you what I plan to change and things like that. So just stay tuned. It's coming. Channel member Robbie Ross says, I'm sorry I missed the beginning about my headlight assembly. So I slipped up and said that I thought you had either a Peterbilt or a KW with the company you're with. And I got corrected and told that's a Freightliner. And I don't know why I thought you was in a pack car. But anyway, uh, I was telling them about your situation. I believe the mechanics messed up your turn signal, um, but there's no way to prove it, of course. Gary Cook says Todd traded his Corvette for AT&T Stadium. I would have traded him. I would have traded that. The way that Corvette was acting the last week I had it, I would have traded one ticket to Texas Stadium for that Corvette. I am not kidding. I'm there to get the motorcycle, and the chrome piece around the tail light fell off the car. That last 3 days I had it was just disintegrating before my very eyes. I don't think I'll ever own another Corvette or a GM product in general. I think I'm going to go back to Ford where I'm safe. Yes, Robbie Ross, channel member, is our fact checker tonight. He says, "Truth be told, that pic is from my seats at AT&T Stadium." Yeah, you had good seats at like the 40 or 45-yard line, but we had a good laugh talking about trading my piano for the entire stadium, which would have been a great deal. That would have been I'd have been a really good negotiator if I could pull that off. So Skyline was correct. And I kind of went back and forth. I couldn't remember what you had, but it is a Freightliner. And it turns out your $1,100 headlight's a bargain. Skyline said they usually run about 1,500, but I told him the company you work for may have got you a discount on it. ROB says, I'll recommend Kansas City Peterbilt. They serviced my APU in October, took me in the same day, and had me back out in 4 hours. Yeah, the Peterbilt dealer in Altoona, Iowa, I went there with Dart, and I got there late, like 8 o'clock at night, and they started working on it that night. And I went to a hotel. By checkout time the next morning, they weren't done, but they said, you can go ahead and check out of the hotel and come over here. They said, we'll have you done. And by like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they had me done. and it was reasonable, like $600 or $800. I had enough in my maintenance account, so it wasn't no big deal. But yeah, Altoona, Iowa, the Peterbilt dealer is awesome there as well, or they were a few years ago when I was there. All righty, we're caught up once again. Just over the hour mark. If y'all got something you want to talk about, throw it up there. If you don't, then I'll cut out of here. I still got about 6 hours of driving to do to get to my delivery in the morning. Channel member Robbie Ross agreed. It all started that I dropped the truck off for a recall on battery cables. They looked for additional work. They had told me originally it would be warranty for my headlights and my front mirror. Um, since we're bad mouthing the shop, go ahead and tell us who they are so people can avoid them. Stephen Lyle Logistics says the casino in Altoona, Iowa has great truck parking, a good buffet, and horse track. Yeah, that was not a bad experience. That whole area, um, there's a lot of stuff within walking distance of both the hotel I stayed at, and I don't remember the hotel now, and the Peterbilt dealer. There's a lot of stuff in that area. The casino is right across the street from the Peterbilt dealer, and that buffet, like he said, is in walking distance. There's another restaurant. Seems like there's a fast food place, and then another restaurant right next door to that that's pretty good as well. So if you've got a PACCAR, Peterbilt, or a Kenworth, and you're experiencing some issues, and you can limp it to Altoona, do it. That's a good shop. And y'all know I'm picky, so if I say they're good, they're really good. Ted says, I thought this was a family show and you cuss on here about Fords. Yeah, I catch a lot of heck about that, but I'm a Ford guy. I don't know what it is. It's not like I'm this super great mechanic, but I can work on Fords. And my brother told me one time, he says, Todd, I don't know what it is about you. He said, you can make these old Fords run forever. And I said, well, I just take care of them. And, my pickup, the one that I've done all that work to, it's a 2014. And people will ask me, when are you going to get a new one? And I'm not. New trucks are 80 to 100,000 for a nice one. And I'm not going to spend that kind of money for a pickup that really doesn't do much more than what mine does. It has a bigger screen in it. If I want a bigger screen, I'll just have one put in mine. I'll get one of those Tesla screens or something like that. I can't justify leaving what I got for what's out in the marketplace right now. A trucker named Tim, channel member, says, anyway, me dealt with the Peterbilt dealer I think he means, has anyone dealt with the Peterbilt dealer in Springfield, Missouri? Um, I've heard they're good, but I've heard the problem is that Prime gets priority and everybody else has to wait. Also, I've heard that Christensen gets priority, and so you may be there a while. Is the only bad thing I've heard. Okay. Stephen Lyle says that in Altoona, the casino is Prairie Meadows. So there you go. But the buffet is good there. Maybe we should do a whole show of discussing buffets. Channel member Robbie Ross, Velocity Truck Center in Tolleson, Arizona. In talking with the powers to be, Velocity has another dealership in Chandler, Arizona. They're working on putting a new headlight assembly on the passenger side. Well, right now they're going to get a zonk for the way they've treated you. If they want to turn that to a thumbs up, they need to make that right. It shouldn't cost you nothing. Just for the headaches you've been through on this, they should replace that headlight assembly for free. I know they're probably not going to do that, but that would be the ethical thing to do, in my opinion. All righty, the comments are starting to flow again. I'll try to catch up as quick as I can. Russell Freight Services says no. I'm not sure what he's saying no to. I'm scrolling up. I don't see any other comments from him. Maybe it'll make sense in a minute. Anyway, Russell Freight Services says no. So Gary says, wasn't Swift testing autonomous trucks? I wonder if they're still testing them. So I saw a video about this recently. They had 4 of them, and of the 4, I think one of them or 2 of them had been driven more than 10 miles. So it didn't take off like everybody thought it was. Autonomous trucks in general, it's kind of like electric cars and trucks. It's not taking off like some people thought it would. Now it may get there one day, but I think the theory is a lot better than the reality right now. And the autonomous trucking companies, they're having financial problems building the trucks, and so I think that's been sidelined for the most part by Swift, based on what I've seen and heard lately. Stephen Lyle Logistics. I'm always down for buffet talk, lol. We may have to do that like on a Thursday night if we just run out of stuff to talk about. It'd be cool. I'll have my little notepad out and I'll check them out, and maybe I'll shoot a video from one of the buffets or something like that. Boy, this TA, they flipped out. I went in there a minute ago and got my shower before the show, and I was just kind of walking around, looking around. I don't know if the girl thought I was a shoplifter or not. She come up and she's like, "Can I help you?" I said, "No, I'm just looking." She's like, "Well, what are you looking for?" I said, "Well, I'm really just killing time till I do my show." She's like, "Show?" I said, "Yeah, I'm a YouTuber." I said, "I'm gonna go out to the truck in a minute and get set up for it." And she's like, "Are you gonna do it in here?" I said, "No, I just told you I'm gonna go out to the truck and do it." And she was like following me around and watching me the whole time I was in there. I hate that. I almost guarantee you I've got more money than she does, and could probably buy anything in the store I wanted. And she's sitting there following me around like I'm a common thief or something. It's kind of offensive. I just said, Michael says, what year specifically is your pickup is paid for? So I just said a minute ago, the pickup's a 2014, and it was paid off. I recently refinanced it when we was going through that 8 weeks and everything. So it's refinanced again. Jordan B says, best buffet I had on the road was at the Petro in Albert Lee, Minnesota. Yeah, that one and the Iowa 80 in what is that, Walcott, Iowa. That one's pretty good too. We may be doing buffet talk tonight. I never know where the show's going. Channel member Robbie Ross, did you hear the message today? Yeah, it sounds like that he's starting to realize nobody's watching his video. Um, I offered them some advice on how to fix that, and they weren't receptive to my idea. And I mean, you go back and look at all his videos that he's put out, and none of them have over 24 views. And a guy of his stature should be getting at least 1,000, because that's how many people work at the company. That should tell him something. And as for the max messages, they had those back when I was there, and I didn't like them then. I don't like them now. They ramble and say stuff we all know. They're kind of like the John Madden of trucking. They're telling you stuff you already know. ROB says Gary Cook, if you're talking about Ameristar Casino, yes, they built a Love's right next to it too. Gary Cook says ROB, that's what I thought. They had good food. Yeah, they do. That's a shame that I know about all these buffets. Channel member Robbie Ross also likes the buffet at Iowa 80. Yeah, so we'll modify the channel. Gary Cook says Trucker Todd, the buffet announcer. Yeah, so we'll modify the channel from news and opinion to news and opinion and buffet talk. I guess it's still my opinion about buffets. Channel member Robbie Ross says he made it clear he is taking on Swift drivers. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with every decision he's made so far, but I think it'd be interesting if I could get him on a Tuesday show and interview him. I think it'd be one for the ages. Channel member Midlife says many of the views are not being counted because they are seen from inside mail links or from Facebook. Yeah, we're talking about another company that the CEO does YouTube videos, but it may still be the case. Still, though, when you click on those links, it should show up. And I mean, you can watch his videos 2 or 3 days late, and it'll have 7 or 8 views. Or I think the biggest one I've seen had 18 views. The most telling thing about his videos are he has comments turned off. You say you want to hear from drivers, but you turn the comments off. If he really wants to hear from drivers, turn the comments on. Let's hear from drivers. I don't run from any comments. I talk to everybody on here until they get so crazy I can't talk to them anymore. Stephen Lyle says I like the I-80 buffet. Then I go to Dairy Queen and get ice cream and walk around the parking lot to look at trucks. There you go. I think we all go to Dairy Queen and get the ice cream. Hey, try this the next time you're at Dairy Queen. When you get your dip cone, ask them to double dip it. It makes the chocolate just a little thicker on there. They don't charge extra for it, and it's really good. Oh, channel member Tim, trucker named Tim, bringing up some bad news. I missed the pig out in Henrietta, Oklahoma. COVID shut them down. Have they not reopened yet? If I'm not mistaken, that's the one that has like a room in there that has like a Troy Aikman tribute in there. And I knew they closed for a little while, but I thought they was back open. Channel member Midlife, if you notice, he has those videos locked so that there can't be comments, and they are in the kids player, which doesn't count when you go to them from an outside link. Yeah, I think you do know who we're talking about. So let me talk about that a little, about YouTube analytics and everything. If he's really trying to promote that company and get drivers to go there, he needs to open it up to comments and to where people can share it out and stuff like that. If what you're saying is true and everybody's watching it through email links, that should also tell you something right there. Um, you know, he needs to have people need to be going there organically and looking for him. If they're only watching him through links, that's a one and done deal. Michael says, who are we discussing? We're discussing the CEO of Rob Rossi's company. Channel member Midlife says, I know who you're talking about. Those views don't count. I watch them too. So, okay. Like I said, I don't want to turn the show into bashing him. I think if you come on YouTube with the premise of, I want to help drivers, I'm trying to do a lot of good, then you are to take driver comments both within the company and without and outside the company. And I know he's passed out his email and cell phone number to drivers within the company. But how about opening it up to the outside? What about former drivers that used to work there? Maybe they've got some input about why they left, where they went, things like that. Channel member Robbie Ross, in my personal talks with him, he's a straight shooter. He will cuss and not hold back. Yeah, I don't think he's a fake guy. I think he knows what he's talking about, but I'm not sure if he really wants input. If he really wants input or if he just wants yes men. I mean, if he wants to know what's wrong over there, I can tell him what's wrong. And I can tell him why in the first 5 minutes of my videos, I get more views than he gets, leaving his videos up for 2 or 3 weeks. And it's not me bragging, but that should tell him something. He's got to do something to spark interest in his company again. And like I said, I've offered him suggestions, and so far he's been resistant to those suggestions. But he needs to listen to somebody besides just the yes men that surround him within the company. And from what I understand, he hired a couple more yes men in there, and it's not working out too well for him. It doesn't sound like, based on what I'm hearing in his videos. Stephen Lyle says, "Great suggestion, thanks." Yes, sir. Channel member Midlife, they come out in John's Daily Mail too. Yeah. But see, that should tell you something too. Channel member Robbie Ross says the company does not announce his daily message. They shouldn't have to. Word of mouth should get it out. I don't have a company out announcing my videos, but word of mouth gets them out. A company that size, if he's making positive changes and doing good things, his drivers should be as big as cheerleaders. They should be going to truck stops and going, "We work for the greatest company in the world. Check out our CEO. He's on every day on YouTube." And they're, for whatever reason, they're not doing that. Word of mouth's not getting out. I mean, he said this morning that they had 900 and something drivers or 1,000 drivers, and they sent out a survey on their ELD, and only 145 people responded to it. So about 15%. That should tell you something right there. Only 15% of the company is excited enough to even respond to a survey. And again, I don't want to bash any companies. I'm just giving you my observations. When I worked there at one point, they had about 3,000 drivers. They're now a third of the size they are. And me and one of their previous CEOs discussed that on the phone together, and I realized what happened. And I'm not blaming anybody. They claim they did it by design, but that's a pretty big drop. And it's obvious they're trying to grow it now. But why isn't word of mouth helping them out? And he said he's got some big changes coming after the first of the year. Maybe that'll help. But like I said, the company shouldn't have to promote him. The drivers should be promoting him. PU Patel says, "I don't have any air leaks, but for some reason my primary air shows 110 and my secondary air shows 120. Always a 10% PSI difference. Does anybody know why that happens?" We'll throw it out there and see. The things I could think of, maybe your primary gauge is just off a little. I would get the pressures tested at the tank. It could be a lot of things. It's still legal at 110, but it could be something really, really simple. But maybe somebody will have a better answer than me. Channel member Midlife says, "I think he's just using YouTube to host the videos rather than putting them on an internal server. When our company does it, they make them unlisted." Well, yeah, he could do that. He could do that too if he wanted to. So I watch them because it's nice to get perspective, and I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for that company. I had a good time working there, but it just when I watch those videos, red flags go off. And when your answer is, every day he's talking about wrecks and accidents and service failures, and if his solution is, I'll go hire a bunch of Swift drivers, and I'm not talking bad about Swift drivers here, but I think it's dangerous when we specify I want one type of driver. Why isn't he saying I'll hire experienced drivers instead of picking out a specific company? You know, can you imagine if I said I'm only going to hire or I'm going to go look for CR England drivers or Western Express drivers or Schneider drivers? How about I'm just going to look for experienced drivers with good safety records? Gary Cook says, did Cordell resell your Kenworth? Um, I haven't had any contact with them. I doubt it very seriously. Channel member Robbie Ross, I'm no yes man, and I spoke freely to him. I know he respects me. Yeah, I'm not saying that you're a yes man, and I'm not saying that he doesn't respect his drivers, but I'm just saying that if he really respected them, he'd open up the comments on YouTube. It's when you close the comments like that, it's like you're trying to control the narrative. I'll leave my comments open. I deal with the trolls. I deal with the happy people, and that's how you get respect. He is a straight shooter, and that's exactly why he needs to open the comments up. Because what he'll get if he does that is drivers will say, well, I don't agree with everything he says, but I respect him answering my question or giving me his perspective or whatever. And so I'm not calling you a yes man, but I'm possibly calling the two guys he hired in Egan recently that he had worked with at other companies, and some things like that. There's definitely some problems in the office that they're going to have to address. And, but I still think it's a good company. They're going through the same crap that a lot of companies are going through right now. Channel member Midlife, I'm not saying he's great or popular. I just watch them and many others. Yeah, me too, when I have time. I'm lost, Russell. Haven't used the Pete dealership. Okay, I'm with you. Channel member Robbie, I did the survey. I'm going to bet my answers were different. I don't listen to the phone message. I do listen to his messages, and I give him a thumbs up. I don't hide. Well, there you go. Channel member Robbie Ross, the Swift, I believe, is for the new dedicated account for the drivers. Still, uh, the new account that he's got is time sensitive freight for a company that you can't screw up. I would be saying I want the most experienced teams I can get. Here's the pay package we're going to offer. I wouldn't be singling out Swift unless he thinks he can get them cheaper or something like that. But on an account like that, I would be going for experience over a specific company. Ooh, there's working now. It's getting cold in here. Channel member Robbie Ross, I can suggest to him to open up the comments. Yeah, have him reach out to me. I'll bring him on a Tuesday show and we'll talk if he wants to do it. And I'll be fair to him, but I want to talk to him prior to the show and kind of get a feel for what we're going to talk about and things like that. You got my number, give it to him, tell him to call me. And if we can put a Tuesday show together, I'll bring him on. But I am going to ask him, why don't you have the comments opened up? You know, things like that. I'm going to ask him some tough questions, but no gotcha questions. And we'll see. We're two hard-headed Southern boys. We may get on the phone, decide we don't want to do a video together. But if he's really interested in getting good professional drivers, he needs to come on here and let me interview him. All righty, we're caught up once again. We're at the hour-and-a-half mark. If you guys got anything else, throw it up and we'll talk about it. If you don't, I'm going to cut out of here. My wife said a Christmas party, right? Well, no, she's not yet. She'll be going to a Christmas party here at 8 o'clock. This will give me a chance to talk to her real quick and get a couple hours sleep for it, or a few hours of sleep. If I say a couple, some of you guys will be like, oh, you only slept 2 hours last night. Get a few hours of sleep before I drive again. So y'all don't forget, before you check out of here tonight, give me a thumbs up, share this video on your social media platforms, share this video to your friends and family, get them watching. Speaking of word of mouth, tell them about this channel. Look down in the description. You do that by clicking on the title. It'll drop down a lot of cool information. A lot of your questions you have will be answered there, how you can help the channel, where I get my music from, things like that. And how to get that solar powered headset. They sent me a new one. It's at the house right now. It's a new design. I'm going to unbox it for you guys. We'll look at it together. But the link to get that headset and save 20% is in the description of my videos. And if you hurry, you can still get it by Christmas time. Hey, channel member Robbie Ross with the super chat. We shot down some Eagles. Cowboy Nation, rise up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And thank you for the super chat. And it's Trucker Tim's, a trucker named Tim's channel member's bedtime. He says, night, my friend, and chat. Good night, everybody. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I appreciate everybody being here. Y'all have a great night. I hate to leave when we've got so many people still in here, but it looks like everybody's winding down. The comments are slowing down. Stephen Lyle says he liked and subscribed. Have a great night. Yes, sir. You too. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for all the channel memberships. If you're interested in doing that, there's a join button at the bottom of this video. Click that. It's like $5 a month, and you'll get some exclusive content and things like that. Get videos before other people do and things like that. All right, folks, I've rambled long enough. I'm out of here. Y'all have a great night. If you comment after I've checked out, I'm sorry I can't respond. But if you're on the replay, you can leave a comment and I'll see it later. All right, y'all be good. We'll see.